Have you ever thought about how every night when we sleep, we get a little taste of what death might be like? It might sound a bit spooky, but think about it. Sleep is when our minds and bodies take a break from the world, almost like a mini rehearsal for the end. In this video, we're going to dive into the surprising similarities between sleep and death. You'll learn why this everyday act might be more meaningful than it seems. Is sleep just a way for us to practice for the final rest? Stay tuned to uncover the secrets of sleep and how it might change the way you think about life and death. Are you curious about what really happens when we drift off every night? Let's find out together. The idea that sleep could be a rehearsal for death is a thought-provoking concept that has fascinated humans for centuries. This notion often comes up in philosophical discussions and literature, where sleep is portrayed as a temporary surrender of consciousness, much like death. In the text, a father and son discuss this comparison, highlighting the parallels between the two states. Both sleep and death involve a kind of letting go, of control, of awareness, and of consciousness. This conversation serves as a powerful metaphor, suggesting that sleep is a nightly practice for the ultimate unknown. It makes us think about how each night, as we drift off, we momentarily step into a void where time and space lose their meaning, similar to how many people imagine death. The comparison can be both comforting and unsettling. It reassures us that death might not be so different from something we do every day, but also reminds us of the mystery that both states embody. The idea that sleep mirrors death also invites us to reflect on our fear of the unknown. If sleep is a small death, then perhaps it is not death itself that we fear but the uncertainty that comes with it. This comparison forces us to confront our own mortality in a more familiar, everyday context, making the abstract concept of death feel more tangible and less intimidating. Ultimately, thinking of sleep as a rehearsal for death challenges us to reconsider our relationship with both. It asks us to think about how we live our daily lives and how we prepare, consciously or unconsciously, for the end. If sleep and death are connected, then maybe there's something to learn about one from the other, perhaps that both are natural, essential parts of our existence. Sleep is a universal phenomenon, vital for almost every living organism, from humans to the smallest of insects. Despite being a common experience, the purpose of sleep is still a subject of much scientific inquiry. It's fascinating to think about why such a vulnerable state, where we are unconscious and unaware of our surroundings, is so crucial for survival. The need for sleep varies greatly across species, highlighting its diverse roles in the animal kingdom. For example, koalas sleep up to 22 hours a day, conserving energy as they digest their eucalyptus leaf diet, which is low in nutritional value. On the other hand, elephants sleep as little as 2 hours a day, using their waking hours to travel long distances in search of food. This stark contrast shows how different animals have adapted their sleep needs to their environments and survival strategies. Understanding the science behind sleep reveals that it's not just a time of rest, but a complex process involving brain activity that supports memory consolidation, learning, and emotional regulation. Sleep plays a critical role in our physical health too, affecting everything from our immune system to our ability to recover from injuries. It's a dynamic and essential process that keeps us functioning at our best. Yet, despite its importance, sleep remains somewhat of a mystery. We know that without it, our bodies and minds suffer, leading to various health issues and cognitive impairments. But why do we need to spend a third of our lives in this state? Scientists continue to explore these questions, hoping to uncover the deeper purposes of sleep and why nature has deemed it so essential for life. One of the most intriguing aspects of sleep is how differently it manifests across the animal kingdom. Dolphins provide a fascinating example with their ability to sleep unihemispherically. This means that only one hemisphere of their brain sleeps at a time, while the other remains awake. This adaptation allows them to continue swimming and surfacing for air, preventing them from drowning. This unihemispheric sleep is not just a quirky trait, it's a crucial survival mechanism. Dolphins, along with other marine mammals, must maintain some level of consciousness to breathe, as they are voluntary breathers, unlike humans who breathe automatically. This ability shows the incredible adaptability of sleep and how it has evolved to meet the specific needs of different species. Birds, too, exhibit unique sleep behaviors. Some species, like swifts, can sleep while flying, tucking one hemisphere of their brain into rest while the other stays alert. This allows them to remain in flight for days or even weeks, showing just how diverse and specialized sleep can be across different animals. Such adaptations highlight the balance between vulnerability and the need to stay alert in the wild. These examples remind us that sleep is not a one-size-fits-all phenomenon. While we often think of sleep as a time to recharge, in the animal kingdom, it's a versatile and dynamic state that has evolved in countless ways. This diversity in sleep patterns emphasizes the incredible adaptability of life on Earth and challenges our understanding of what it means to rest. Human sleep is a complex process that occurs in cycles, each consisting of several stages. The first stage is light sleep, where we drift in and out of consciousness. This is followed by a deeper stage of sleep, which prepares us for the restorative stages that come next. As we progress through these stages, our body temperature drops, and our heart rate slows, signaling the body to enter an even deeper state of rest. The third and fourth stages are often referred to as deep sleep or slow-wave sleep. During this time, the body focuses on repairing and regrowing tissues, building bone and muscle, and strengthening the immune system. It's also the stage where sleepwalking and talking are most likely to occur, as the brain is not entirely disengaged from external stimuli. The final stage is REM, rapid eye movement, sleep, where most dreaming occurs. In this stage, our brain activity becomes more similar to when we're awake, yet our muscles are temporarily paralyzed, a fascinating contradiction that prevents us from acting out our dreams. REM sleep is crucial for cognitive functions such as memory, learning, and mood regulation, highlighting its importance in our overall well-being. Understanding these stages helps us appreciate the complexity of sleep and its vital role in maintaining our health. It's not just about shutting down, each stage plays a specific role in rejuvenating the body and mind. By cycling through these stages multiple times a night, our bodies perform a delicate balancing act that supports our daily functioning and long-term health. The metaphor of sleep as death is a poetic way to reflect on the unknown. We surrender ourselves to sleep each night, not knowing what dreams or nightmares await us, or even if we will wake up again. It's a leap of faith we take daily, an act that mirrors the finality of death. The phrase, "sleep is just death being shy," captures this idea beautifully, suggesting that sleep is a subtle introduction to the void. When we sleep, we enter a world where time is irrelevant, and reality is bent, a concept not too different from how many perceive death. Both sleep and death involve a departure from the conscious world and an entry into a different state of being, one that's often out of our control and beyond our understanding. This comparison makes us think about how we confront the fear of the unknown. This metaphor also prompts us to consider how we cope with life's uncertainties. Just as we trust that we will wake up after sleeping, we might also find comfort in the idea that death, too, could be a transition rather than an end. The metaphor encourages a perspective shift. Instead of fearing death, we might see it as another step in the natural cycle of existence, much like sleep is a regular part of our daily routine. In contemplating sleep as a shy death, we engage with the fragility and mystery of life. It reminds us that every night, we practice a kind of surrender, preparing ourselves, whether consciously or not, for the final unknown. This perspective can change how we live, making us more mindful of each day and each sleep, understanding both as precious parts of our human experience. Thinking about death can be unsettling, but it's a reality that everyone must face. The text uses the metaphor of a distant asteroid destined to hit Earth to discuss how humanity might react to the inevitability of death. Just like the asteroid, death is far off, but certain, and this certainty can lead to irrational behaviors fueled by fear and denial. This comparison shows how humans often handle threats that seem distant or abstract. We may ignore them, deny their existence, or become obsessed with preventing them. In the case of death, many people choose to live in denial, refusing to acknowledge their mortality. Others might obsessively seek ways to prolong life, trying to outsmart the inevitable. However, reflecting on our mortality doesn't have to lead to despair. Understanding that death is a natural part of life can encourage us to live more fully in the present, making the most of the time we have. Instead of fearing the future, we might find a sense of peace in accepting that all things, including our own lives, are part of a larger, ongoing cycle. By contemplating mortality, we can better understand our place in the universe. Just as the Earth will continue on its path long after we're gone, life and the cosmos will persist in ways we can't fully comprehend. This realization can be humbling and liberating, encouraging us to focus on the here and now and to make our time meaningful. Looking far into the future of humanity can be both thrilling and daunting. The text paints a picture of the distant future, from the next generations to millions of years ahead. As we imagine cosmic events like galactic collisions and the potential end of the universe, we are reminded of our smallness in the grand scheme of things. These cosmic events force us to think about the fragility and resilience of life. On a cosmic scale, human existence is just a blink of an eye, a brief moment in the vast timeline.